Coming up today on Grady News Source, find out what local road crews are doing to prepare for the possibility of sleet and snow. And see what one county is doing to help all of the people still without power.
It was roughly 600 people still without power.
Today is UGA Day at the state capitol, and some student activists are trying to change liquor laws.
I think all of us here always look forward to UGA Day at the Capitol.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady News Source.
Welcome to Grady News Source. I'm Ellen Rittner.
And I'm Allison Menhart.
Our top story tonight, Northeast Georgia.
Grady News Source has team coverage for you tonight. We begin with Jacob Blunt reporting live from UGA's meteorology department with the latest on the snow and the forecast.
Jacob Moore joins us live to show you how Athens-Clarke County will keep the roads clear for you when the weather hits.
Next, Katie Kraft shows you how the Red Cross is working in one county to keep people without power from freezing.
Plus, the latest in school closings.
But first, let's go to Jacob Blunt live from the meteorology department at UGA. Jacob, when's the snow and sleet getting here?
Yes, snow and sleet storms are a possibility for this weekend, but right now we are in front of the Georgia Meteorology Department, and I don't know if you can see this right here, but it says the temperature in Athens is 25 degrees. But with wind gusts up to 21 miles per hour, the wind chill makes it feel like 17 degrees outside. So me and my camera crew, Sarah and Caitlin, will be heading inside right after this, because if we were outside over an hour, we would start to feel the early symptoms of frostbite. Now for later tonight in Athens, the low will get to 12 degrees. And it'll stay like that. So make sure you keep your faucets dripping so we don't have any pipes bust out there. As the weekend goes on, the temperatures will rise, but not before a winter storm comes in. That is possibility of sleet and snow. And when there's sleet and snow on the roads, that means danger. Reporter Jacob Moore went in to find an Athens road crew to see how they're preparing. Jacob.
Streets and Drainage Department will start by putting sand on the streets. This truck is already set to go in the event of icy roads, and there are 2 more trucks they can fill with sand if they need to. Operations Coordinator Travis Newsom says bridges and roads underneath trees will be the most likely icy spots, but if water on the roads does freeze, they will be prepared.
We're expecting participation or rain, snow, sleet. Friday night, my guys will be on standby waiting for it, and they'll be waiting for it to drop, and then they'll be waiting for the call to come in.
Thanks, Jacob. Now we go to Allison for the school closings.
The chilly temps have some schools closed and others giving students a pass if their parents think it's too cold for class. Madison County is closed now and they will return for a full day of school tomorrow. They've already been closed 1 day this week. Oglethorpe County schools are also closed today and there's still no word of whether or not they will be open again tomorrow. Clark County opened today, but if parents thought it was just too cold to send their kids to school, they can get their child's absence excused. They just have to ask. And in Barrow County, although schools are open, because there are still homes there without power, students in those homes can also be excused. Oconee and Jackson County schools were open today and plan to open again tomorrow.
Some people in Northeast Georgia are still living without power in their homes. That's why the American Red Cross is in one county tonight to help them stay warm as the temperatures drop. Grady News Source reporter Katie Kraft shows you how people are making a shelter home.
Ron Lemke is the Red Cross shelter manager here at the First Methodist Church in Winder, and he's continuing to work today to make sure everyone in Barrow County has a warm place to stay.
We were expecting approximately 50 to 100 people in the Barrow County area of Georgia that will need some form of a place to sleep, a place to get some warm food, and actually have something that they can call home.
And this is what home looks like for the hundreds of people still without power. The Red Cross brings in these cots for people to sleep on. 10 cots are set up right now in the gymnasium of the church, each with its own blanket and available medical equipment. And that's just what Barrow County needs right now.
As of the last count we got at 9 o'clock this morning, it was roughly 600 people still without power. They're working very fast and very hard to get to as many people as they can.
But until then, the Red Cross is keeping all of their supplies close by.
The Red Cross brings in these trailers in order to bring in essentials for a shelter, including cots, blankets, and even generators to keep people warm.
And Ron knows firsthand that these things can make a big difference in this cold weather.
Meeting the person's temporary and immediate needs. And the reward comes back when you find out that you have helped them out.
These volunteers are planning to stay here until 6 p.m. tonight. Katie Kraft, Grady News Source.
Only one power outage remains in Barrow County right now. How many are left in our area, Allison?
Georgia Power is working to restore the 4 remaining outages in Jackson, Barrow, and Clark County.
If you forgot to leave your faucets dripping overnight, you might just be out of luck. An employee of the local company Plumologist says that just because your pipes haven't burst yet doesn't mean that they won't. And you probably won't even know you have a problem until it happens.
Coming up, how safe is your mail? Reporter Zach Watson tells us how this is becoming more of a problem for some people living in Athens.
Police are stepping in to stop local students from harassing an Athens woman. According to this Athens Clark County police report, college students are filming a woman's home and posting the videos on social media sites. The reporting officer added that several cars with multiple people filmed the woman's home, then circled back multiple times trying to shoot more video while the officer was on the scene. Police set up a house check for the residents at all hours.
Tampering with a person's mail is a federal crime, but mail doesn't always arrive safely. Reporter Zach Watson tells us about multiple victims of mail theft and explains what you can do to protect your confidential mail.
Local Athens apartment owners have reported to the U.S. Postal Service and Athens Clark County Police Department multiple packages and letters being ripped open when arriving to their doorstep. While the reason behind the rips, tears, and missing items remains unclear, Jake Packard attempted to report his keys missing.
And my sister sent me a car key in the mail, and I discovered the envelope had been ripped open, but it still got delivered to me. And I didn't think too much of it. I obviously thought someone might have stolen it in the beginning, so I filed a police report and I went to the post office and they told me that a machine might have ripped it open. It might have just fallen out.
According to Communication Program Specialist for the U.S. Postal Service, Harry Spratlin, the postal worker didn't properly handle the situation and had no idea why.
It's hard, they might not have been aware or thinking in that way. They might have been thinking, it's a good question. Well, I can't really speak for them, but they should have.
Harry assured me the U.S. Postal Service policy is to record all missing mail reports and refer all people to contact the USPS OIG hotline. Zach Watson, Grady News Source.
Relax alcohol possession laws for college students, create an environment that encourages people to report sexual assaults, and find ways to make college more affordable. Those were the key messages dozens of UGA students took to the state capitol today. University of Georgia President Jerry Moorhead also made the trip to address the governing bodies from the floor of the legislature. Adeline Kinnerly shows you how the UGA representatives spent the day with the legislators making their case for change.
Georgia's top legislatures are facing some hairy issues this session, brought to them from student leaders from the University of Georgia.
These are the things that we would like to see done on the state level.
And some of these visitors at the Capitol today carry a doggone lot of weight.
A lot of people respect what he has to say. So, he says something, it's pretty much law.
Well, it may not be law yet, but the issues facing the state's oldest flagship university are important to the state as a whole.
We have 6 meetings with legislators and office staff to discuss some pressing student concerns.
This may look like Sanford Stadium on a Saturday, but we are actually in the Georgia State Capitol. President Jerry Moorhead just spoke in both the House and Senate chambers.
This is a special day since we're celebrating the 230th anniversary of the university's founding.
Student Government Association leaders say topping the list of issues, making it less of an offense for a student to possess alcohol.
Our survey, which says 92% of UGA students support moving to a citation model for underage possession of alcohol charges.
Thomas says other issues being brought to state leaders today include encouraging students to report sexual assault and increasing voter registration and turnout among college students. Governor Deal welcomed the top dog and the UGA student leaders.
I think all of us here always look forward to UGA Day at the Capitol, so had a good crowd today in spite of the cold weather.
Congressional leaders are taking meetings with these student leaders to consider what they have to say. Reporting for Grady News Source, I'm Adeline Kennerly at the Georgia State Capitol.
One of the key issues students are lobbying for is a bill that could affect the amount of money that they pay for college tuition.
College costs are on the rise. One lawmaker is trying to make college free for more hardworking college students. House Bill 24, if passed, will allow more students in the state of Georgia to earn the Zell Miller Scholarship. That's a scholarship that pays 100% of students' tuition. Reporter Mallory Blunt checked on the bill's progress today.
I deserve a chance.
UGA student Brooke Walton isn't eligible for free college tuition. She says she just missed the necessary grade point average to qualify for the Zell Miller 100% college scholarship. Since starting UGA, her grades are now within the guidelines, but she still can't get Zell Miller.
And I started realizing, like, oh, I am paying more than the people who have Zell are paying, and it's all because of my grade in high school.
The Zell Miller Scholarship requires students to leave high school with a 3.7 GPA and a 1200 SAT. But if they, like Walton, don't meet the criteria out of high school, it doesn't matter how well they do in college. They're out of luck. State Representative Stacey Evans wants to change that.
If you're able to do that for 2 semesters, then you've proven that you can handle the rigor.
Both the Hope Scholarship and the Zell Miller Scholarship are funded through the Georgia Lottery. Representative Evans assured me that if this bill had passed, then the lottery would be able to fund the new program. UGA student activist Megan Ernst says the Student Government Association fully supports the bill.
We're really hopeful that this is going to be a change that we're going to be able to see happen on campus soon.
Representatives from both parties support the bill, so Evans is hopeful that it will get through the legislature and be signed into law. Mallory Blunt, Grady News Source.
Coming up next after the break, we have more winter weather updates with a possibility of seeing some snow and sleet over the weekend.
Welcome to the Athens-Clarke.
Welcome back to Grady News Source. I'm Jacob Blunt here to update you about the winter weather in the area. Coming up first, we have a wind chill advisory in the Athens area till 2 p.m. with other wind chill warnings in surrounding counties for the next couple of days, so make sure to keep an eye on the temperature. Also, we have freezing temperatures tonight, all night throughout the area, so make sure you keep your faucets dripping. We know we've stressed this to you, but we don't want any pipes bursting. Now, finally, and most importantly, a chance this weekend for snow and sleet in the area. No, I'm not joking. There might be more ice, I promise. Here we go. Now, meteorologists have seen storms come up from the north. Now, there's a low precipitation rate in Georgia right now, but they say with this storm pushing down, we might see the lower tip of this storm actually hit us in the northeast Georgia area. So watch out this weekend. We're advised between Friday at 11 p.m. to about Saturday morning at 10 a.m. we could see those winter showers with some snow and mixed sleet, so watch out for ice on the roads. Also, coming up for tonight, we have these freezing temperatures in the area, with Athens seeing a low of 12 degrees. It could break records for low degrees in Athens, especially for this year. Now, also after that, we're going to have a low of 12 tonight, but it's mostly clear tonight. No actual storms coming in the area until late Friday, early Saturday. And let's keep going with high temperatures for tomorrow morning. Even though there's low temperatures happening tonight, the temperatures should be steadily rising all weekend, even through Sunday. So tomorrow, the high in Athens is going to be 36, right around there, okay? Now, with a high of 36 and it mostly being sunny, you'd think a better day, but 40% precipitation for that night could lead into those winter showers. So watch out for that and make sure to stay safe. Finally, we'll give you your 5-day forecast coming up here. And as you can see, we're gradually heightening temperatures throughout the week, but the chances on Saturday through Sunday, precipitation is going to be very high, some freezing temperatures. Thank you all for having me. Back to you guys at the news desk.
Cedar Shoals is moving to the next round of the playoffs, and the Lady Dogs hope to end a losing streak. That and more is coming up after the break. The Cedar Shoals Jaguars are advancing to the next round of the playoffs after an impressive win against Kell at home last night. They beat them 72-50. This Saturday, they'll cruise into the second round of the playoffs, where they will host Northside again at home. The Lady Bulldogs are headed to LSU to take on the Lady Tigers tonight. They're looking to snap out of their 5-game losing streak. This is the longest losing streak that they've had since 2009. Georgia lost lead scorer Shakobia Barbie to a season-ending injury at Tennessee on January 25th while coming down from a drive to the basket late in the first half. Barbie had surgery January 28th to repair the fracture, but it seems like the Lady Bulldogs team is in a state of fracture without her. The Lady Bulldogs and Lady Tigers are set to tip at 8 p.m. tonight. We are in day 2 of the NFL Combine, where 5 former UGA players are trying to show off their skills to solidify a spot on an NFL team. Pads and helmets are not nearly as important as stopwatches, weights, and orange cones this week. We have a rundown of where things are standing for the Georgia players at the Combine. Chris Conley is the latest in a consistently strong series of receivers for the University of Georgia. Like A.J. Green before him, Conley hopes to make the transition from college to pro. His strengths are his size, strength, and track record of accomplishments at UGA. As a senior, he racked up 657 receiving yards, 8 touchdown catches, and did this with a run-heavy offense. Conley needs to impress the scouts with his speed and route running, but the 40-yard dash will definitely be the key element that scouts will look for in Conley. Todd Gurley. Must I say more? He's a great size, has vision, and he's as fast as lightning. The only disadvantage for Gurley will be the fact that scouts will have to rely on old film to evaluate his strength and speed after his ACL injury. Amarlo Herrera, inside linebacker. Amarlo Herrera was a king when it came to breaking records during his time at University of Georgia. He's instinctive and can stop the run against anyone. A disadvantage that Herrera faces is his height at only 6'2". In order to impress the scouts, he will need to dominate the agility drills as well as the bench press.
A couple wants to improve Oglethorpe County's economy.
Find out their plans coming next.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
Going out to eat, washing your clothes, and getting a haircut are all easily accessible for most people. In Oglethorpe County, though, that is not the case. One couple attempts to change that by clearing a plot of land to bring in more businesses. Reporter CJ Gann visits with Thomas and Dee Paluski to see how their project will help the economy and community.
Bulldozers rumble across the ground, taking down this old building brick by brick. But Thomas Paluski sees past the destruction, because the end of the building is the beginning of his and his wife Dee's dream for the county.
The Paluskis plan to build 2 new shopping centers once this place is cleared of all debris, and it will be all centered around this tree.
We want to create a space where people here in Lexington and the passerbys can stop and enjoy a nice seating area under the oak tree, because we're going to have picnic tables and rocking chairs.
Dee and Thomas Paluski decided to build the shopping areas because he says Oglethorpe County doesn't have the basic infrastructure needed to support the 14,000 people who live here.
We have to drive 27 miles to Elberton, 25 miles to Washington, 20 miles to Athens, so we are really in need of basic necessities in the county here.
Paluski is familiar with what it takes to get those basic necessities. He came to the United States from Poland as a teenager with nothing, and today he's a property owner and developer, and even an occasional worker. With this project, Paluski hopes others will find what he did in this northeast Georgia county.
I just want to put a word out that Oglethorpe County is a good place to live.
A place that the Paluskis say will be an even better one. Bulldozers will continue to plow and dig until the new centers are open. In Oglethorpe County, CJ Gann, Grady News Source.
A student organization on campus has a delicious way to raise money for charity. The UGA chapter of MedLife is having a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory themed 5K. All proceeds go to the building bathrooms for a school in Africa that has too many students and not enough clean water. According to GuideStar, of the more than $800,000 MedLife National race in 2012, about 84 went straight to their project programs. MedLife UGA has gathered over 1,500 pieces of chocolate to put in swag bags they will be giving participants in their Chocolate Factory 5K. MedLife has partnered with Athens Student Housing and Journey Juice to provide the winners with prizes including 2 Fitbit chargers. The organizer of the event, Brock Beazle, says it is important to MedLife that the event brings awareness to the community on the struggling poor in third world countries.
We have been able to get all of our proceeds and profits to go towards a school in Ecuador called the Abdi Ayala School, and it's in Esmeraldas. So what we're trying to do is raise enough money, about $2,000, to build this bathroom for the school in Esmeraldas. It's something we take for granted, using the bathroom, but without proper sanitation.
Thank you for watching Grady News Source, and good night.
And stay warm.
Grady News Source is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.